Welcome back, everybody, to the Nation Network.
We should see some spectacular moves in this bout. This ought to be some great
Vince
wrestling.
McShambley here.
There may not be two more sound wrestlers in the
Appreciate the sub. Thank you so much for that.
plan, but the question is, will the plan work? You can have all the plans.
And this is the WWF Legends Challenge 64. What I love about this one is with all the commentary going on in the background between Jesse and Tony and Gorilla and everybody else, I get to kind of chill out and watch it with you guys and just talk about the good old days of wrestling.
Oh, listen to the boos. Hey, I said hold it down. They don't like him, Jess.
And we've got an announcement here to make about an upcoming program this week.
Regardless if you are
I'll be giving you that in just a little bit. We'll let the audience build up here a little bit so people don't miss out on it. But in the meantime, we're going to do the King of the Ring here today. Let me go to my options here first. We'll stick to normal. Leave that on. Actually, since we're going to sim it, we'll turn it off. Replay, camera, sound, music, and medium on the backgrounds. And let's jump on in here. Hope everybody's having a great day. I haven't done a tag team. There's a steel cage version too. Ooh. I think we'll stick to one-on-ones though for right now. And I believe is it 8? No, we can go more, can we? How do you do 10? That's an odd bracket. Let's find out. I thought we had a King of the Ring arena. Guess not. Meadowlands. What the hell? Time limit, we give them to 10 minutes. Count out to 10 count. Pins, yes. Submissions, yes. TKOs, we're going to leave that on yes too, just to move these matches along a little bit. Rope break is a no. DQ is on, blood's on. Interference, we're going to turn that off. And now the million-dollar question is, who is going to be in the King of the Ring? We got 10 participants to add. I think we'll start it out with Jake, the Snake Roberts. I'll take that one. Hopefully it won't crash. I had problems with Perfect, but then we've done some updates and stuff, and hopefully it's all good now. So we'll take Perfect. So that's Jake Roberts against Perfect in that match. Some familiar looking attires here. I like that one though. Judd 3300, how you doing? JR's in the house. J-Rocks, we got to go with JR on you and JW on Wiley. Otherwise, it's just too many J's and nobody knows who we're talking about. And then everyone's trying to pass the sugar at the same time. All right, let's go By the way, we're going to talk about Rick Rude a little bit later on. Some of you may have known all this information that I'll talk about, but I did not. Well, what the hell, Big Boss Man it is. And I don't think I have used a honky tonk man yet. I like the blue. Undertaker, let's see. I don't see a big difference in these Undertakers, to be honest with you. That one's got at least a long hair. We'll go with that. Let's go get Hulk Hogan in there. One too many. Yeah, let's get somebody from the other end of the spectrum here. Yeah, what the hell, Ron Bass. And then we got 2 to go. Reza Ramon. Oh, and I got to put Kamal in there because apparently the paint wears off during the match, and I have not seen that yet. So let's take a look-see at that, shall we? All computer. And watch. Okay, that should do it. Our opening contest, Jake the Snake Roberts against Mr. Perfect. I didn't get a good look at that bracket. I wish I would have, because I want to see how they're breaking the 10 bracket up. Judge, glad to hear you're doing well. As the native of Stone Mountain, Georgia, makes his way down the aisle, here comes his opposition, accompanied by Bobby the Brain Heenan, Mr. Perfect. Coming to you live from the Meadowlands, and here we go. Juan Cordero, hail. Get it to him, Jesse. Out to the floor he goes. Bobby the Brain nearby, and he looks like he wants to get involved in this one.
The stage is set. The combatants are ready. And you better believe they're prepared for this. Well, we should see some spectacular moves in this bout. This ought to be some great wrestling with these two, because mechanically, there may not be two more sound wrestlers in the world. They've got a plan. Certainly they got a plan, but the question is, will the plan work? You can have all the plans in the world, Shabani. Okay, Jesse the Body Ventura, but I would think just right now the butterflies are starting to mount. Absolutely. Every man has to have tremendous amount of confidence, but as I said before,
yeah, I was actually happy with Tony Schiavone's stint in WWF. As much as he'll always be NWA/WCW in my book, in my memories, I thought I was going to have a lot more difficulty separating his voice from the NWA product than I did in the WWF. I thought he was a good fit. And he and Jesse, as you can hear here, they did a great job of bouncing off each other. Oh, Bobby the Brain Heenan taking a shot. Oh, boy, oh, boy. There might be a match later on down the line.
Good to have you with us wherever you are. He's looking our way. I don't think he likes the way you're dressed. I don't think he likes anything about anybody. I think he maybe needed a physical.
There's a roll-up.
I can take his heartbeat, you know, Tony.
Get your hands on my chest, please. When he makes his way over here, you stand in front of him.
Hopefully he won't get over here.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Roberts with the palm strike to the chest.
Filled the capacity. I told you before, not even Mickey and Goofy could get in, and I made sure they couldn't. They didn't have tickets. Did you have a ticket, Shimani?
No, I don't. What are you insinuating?
Well, then what are you doing here?
Well, I just wanted to sit beside of you. It was okay. Listen to the fans. They are standing and cheering.
Judd, not anymore. I used to. In the beginning, I knew they were going to be a little rough, and that's okay. I was there for that. And then CM Punk got signed, and I was there for that. I was getting the pay-per-view. Then they brought in Bryan Danielson and Adam Cole at that big pay-per-view, and it's like, holy cow, that was one of the best pay-per-views I've seen in decades. But then I started seeing more and more reckless crap in the ring, and Jeff Hardy again doing what Jeff Hardy does. And more, it was just obvious that there's nobody in control in that place. And I just don't want to sit there and watch people get injured. While I know it could happen anywhere, it's highly likely to happen there. You know, what happened to Moxley recently is just further emphasizes my point of why I don't watch them anymore. Everything about that was so poorly handled. Of course, the whole CM Punk debacle also turns... after they suspended him the first time, right after winning the world title, and there's fights backstage, and here's a win for Jake the Snake Roberts. Watching Tony Khan prior to the suspensions and the whole scrum meltdown, the scrum prior to that, for example, you know, the wrestlers come in and he's like hugging him like he's a small child and daddy came home. You're a friggin' owner of a wrestling organization. Stop acting like a fan. And quite honestly, most fans are not going to go out there and hug these guys. Kids might, but not adults. So yeah, I can't watch AEW at this point. No, I don't see AEW being the same as WCW. I do see them being the same as TNA. I see them identical to TNA, and I see the future identical to TNA. Tony Khan is Dixie Carter. Other than the chromosome, the extra Y chromosome, there's no difference. They're both fans who've got dad's money. And, you know, there was a day where TNA was playing to 10,000 seat arenas full. Let me get a look at this thing real quick. So we have a bye round. Oh, look at this. So Kamala draws a bye. That's interesting. And Honky Tonk Man's going to draw a bye. So if you can have a bye round, then why is it if this match right here, for example, were to end in a draw, they'd replay the match? Oh, what's happening? Oh, I simmed the matches accidentally. Shit, my bad. So we're going to see Rick Rude against Honky Tonk Man. All right, my bad. What's going on here? What's going on here? How do I? Computer versus computer. It's not letting me. Damn, Hogan went out in the first round to The Undertaker. Shit. Yeah, TNA at one point in time was not bad wrestling at all. Back when Samoa Joe had the X Division title and Christopher Daniels was there and AJ Styles was doing his thing. Yeah, well, it's playing it now. I don't know why it's sending the other ones out. They had a solid roster back then. For me, TNA started to fall apart when Christian Cage got signed. You took a guy who was a perennial mid-carder and put the world title on him simply because he was a WWE guy. And I thought that really spit in the face of their organization. It spit in the face of the championship. They have the same network.
Hi everyone, I'm Tony Schiavone, joined in the broadcast location by Jesse the Body Ventura.
Well, first of all, I'm going to tell you, Schiavone, don't you get out of line.
Oh, it was WCW did, yeah.
You're the man responsible for Bobby Heenan getting
Well, WCW, or I take it back, well, TBS and the other friggin' network, TNT, probably never would have got rid of WCW had they not been taken over by the WWF. Even bad wrestling generally gets better ratings than a lot of other programming you could be putting on in the same time slot. That said, AEW is starting to pull into that slot where there are a lot of shows that could do better ratings. They could put like reruns of movies like Titanic and probably get better ratings. Yeah, I mean, that is the only similarity between WCW and AEW in my book. I still have several of the TNA DVDs back when they were good. I might have to dust one of those off and take a look.
Simply because the man can wrestle, Tony.
Well, you can wrestle and you can...
Ancient Clown in the house.
Treat the commoners with respect.
Yes. Good to have you with us wherever you are. He's looking our way. I don't think he likes the way
What's up, Clown?
I don't think he likes anything about anybody.
I think you may be needing a physical from me before the matchup. I can take his heartbeat, you know, Tony.
Get your hands off my chest, please. When he makes his way over here, you stand in front of him.
Hopefully he won't get over here.
Yeah, I agree with that.
What a crowd here, though. I can't believe it. Filled the capacity. I told you before, not even Mickey and Goofy could get in, and I made sure they couldn't. They didn't have tickets.
Still working on some final details here, but as of right now, it appears that Tuesday, we're going to have a very special episode of Wrestle Chat you will not want to miss with some special guests. Damn, did Ron Bass win a match over Razor Ramon? I'm a little skeptical about the logic in this game, but okay. Nacho Man in the house. Well, the regular games probably, but they knocked this one out of the park right here. I booked the match, but I did not book the win. All right, Ravishing Rick Rude and Honky Tonk. We got a couple of heels going at it right here. A couple of Intercontinental Champions. Every dog has his day, indeed. Doing good, Nacho. I was gonna say Macho. Nacho. It is now officially the end of my work week. What the hell is happening there? We got a new dude with Rick Rude. Honky Tonk Man coming out with a guitar, and Jimmy Hart, who is dressed. Wow, something happens to the Bobby Heenan. So yeah, I was watching. What was I watching? I'm trying to remember who it was telling the story. I never heard this before about how Rick Rude passed away. And whoever it was a wrestler from the day. I mean, it's a name that we all know. I just can't think of who the hell it was now. It was one of these shoot interviews. I could probably find it in my recent. All right, let me check real quick before I go any further with this story, because I don't want to take credit for it. I was truly amazed at how much I didn't know about, because almost everything about this story I had never, ever heard before.
This ought to be some great wrestling with these two, because mechanically, there may not be two more sound wrestlers in the world.
Go here to history.
The question is, will the plan work? You can have all the plans in the world, Shivani.
Okay, Jesse, the body been thrown, but I would think just right now the butterflies are starting to mount.
Absolutely. Every man has to have a tremendous amount of confidence, but as I said before, there'll be only one winner. Confidence isn't going to win it for you.
Anything can happen here.
Hold it down.
Oh, all right. Oh, listen to the moves.
Hey, I said hold it down.
They don't like him, Jess. You know, I think, though, Jesse, realistically, fans all around the world, regardless if you are from Australia or Great Britain or USA, certainly the tactic will have to really get your blood boiling.
And why is that?
Because he is arrogant, because he thinks so little of everyone, Jesse.
Simply because the man can wrestle, Tony.
Well, you can wrestle and you can still
Treat the commoners with respect.
Yes. Good to have you with us wherever you are. He's
Still
our
looking
way.
here.
I just don't think he likes the way you're dressed. I don't think he likes anything about anybody.
I think you may be needing a physical from me before the matchup. I can take his heartbeat, you know, Tony.
Get your hands off my chest, please. When he makes his way over here, you stand in front of him.
Hopefully he won't get over here.
Yeah, I agree with that.
What a crowd here, though. I can't believe it. Filled the capacity. I told you before, not even Mickey and Goofy could get in, and I made sure they couldn't. They didn't have tickets. Did you have a ticket, Shivani?
No, I don't. What are you insinuating?
Well, and what are you doing here?
Well, I just wanted to sit beside of you. It was okay. Listen to the fans. They are standing and cheering.
Well,
They are really prepared.
Well, shit, now I can't find the damn video. Let me try one more thing here.
Go a long, long time.
Oh, they're in such great condition, Jess, that it's going to have to take a long time.
And even besides the condition, Tony, it's the egos involved. I mean, how will each man be able to look himself in the mirror tomorrow? That's a tough pill to swallow.
For those with big egos.
Well, you gotta have a big ego to be a top wrestler. Look at this capacity crowd. Wow. Tremendous arena here. Great to be a part of it.
It really is, Jess. It is a
wrestling.
Executed well, you're right.
Well, I can't find the damn video no matter how I search for it right now. But there was somebody doing a shoot interview.
Always. Say it always.
I'm not going to argue with you. Look here.
You know, it seems the referee's is laying.
And they were talking about
Go at it.
Ravishing Rick Rude's death. Now, I did not know, and correct me if I'm wrong,
You know, and there's times
that he committed suicide. I just presumed, I guess, he was another drug overdose because that was happening pretty prevalently at the time.
let the match go on.
But more than not knowing that it was a suicide, Honky Tonk gets the win. Was what was behind the reasoning behind the suicide. And the story that this wrestler told, I don't think it was Dutch Mantel. But the story was that Rude wanted to partake in the blue pill medication. He was planning on having a busy night with the ladies. And I guess there was a injectable version of it that, according to the story, he injected directly into his Johnson. That then had a really negative side effect in that his testicles became filled with fortitude to the point where they were the size of nearly softballs. And by the time he got to doctors with this little problem, they had to remove a great deal of his manhood in general. I don't know exactly how much, but it sounds like it was pretty much a castration type scenario, and he couldn't deal with that, and then it was that led him to suicide. Didn't know any of that. Has anyone heard that story? Or again, it's a very, I wish I could remember who the hell did the shoot interview. That's a true story. No shit. I thought he OD'd too, man. Like I said, everybody back then was doing that. Was it Nash? I feel like it was. I mean, where I heard it from or what I watched. All right. Well, okay then. I never heard that story until yesterday. And I thought it was just like mind-bending. I couldn't believe it. All right, we're going to look for Kamala's war paint to wear off during the match. All right, well, me and JR are in the same boat right now. Hadn't heard about it. I mean, it might have been Nash that told it in general, and then other people are now repeating it, or maybe they were also in the locker room and know the story. I'm not sure. All right, Lou. Again, I never heard it at the time, like when he passed away. I don't remember it being... How did he off himself? Kamala with kimchi. This game doesn't miss a beat, man. They might as well put an EA label on the front. It's in the game. We got a couple of hosses in this one. Outlaw Ron Bass going up against Kamala. What I'm loving right now is all these heel matchups we're getting. Yeah, it's like even that notch, I never heard that's what happened. I remember, hearing he passed away. I didn't know that he did it himself. And I definitely hadn't heard that other story. How can you forget about Kimchi, clown? That's a honky-tonk man. At least he was one of them. I'd like to know everyone who ever played Kimchi with Kamala.
You can have all the plans in the world, Shabani.
Okay, Jesse the Body Ventura,
Bass trying to take Kamala over. That didn't happen.
Absolutely. Every man has to have tremendous amount of confidence, but as I said before, there'll be only one winner. Confidence isn't going to win it for you.
Anything can happen here.
Hold it.
All right. Oh, listen to the boos.
Hey, I said hold it now.
DJ Page. What's happening, man?
You know, I think, though, Jesse, realistically, fans all around the world, regardless if you are from Australia or Great Britain or USA,
Kamala with a throat lift just sends him crashing down.
really gets your blood boiling.
And why is that?
Because he is arrogant, because he thinks so little of everyone, Jesse.
Simply because the man wrestled, Tony.
I would say, I'm trying to think of the time frame. It was after Honky lost the Intercontinental title, probably around the time where he was the manager of Billy Gunn, was it?
I don't think he likes the way you're dressed. I don't think
When they tried making him rockabilly or some crap like that.
For me before the matchup.
I think it was right in that same time frame.
His heartbeat, Tony.
And you can tell it's Honky Tonk by the body structure and everything, even though he's wearing the mask and all that, and he never speaks. But, yeah, you could totally see it was his
Hopefully he
frame.
won't get over here.
Yeah, I agree with that.
What a crowd here, though. I can't believe it. Filled the capacity. I told you before.
There are a lot of people that played Kimchi. I'm just saying Honky Tonk played him once, or at one period of time for a little bit. But a lot of people did.
I know. What are you insinuating?
Well, and what are you doing here?
Well, I just wanted to sit beside of you. It was okay.
All right, clown, go duck yourself.
They are standing and cheering. Yeah, really prepared. Yeah.
Oh, we know aliens are real, man. The government even told us. They admitted it.
Such great condition, Jess, that it's going to have to take a long time.
And even besides the condition, Tony, it's the egos involved. I mean, how will each man be able to look himself in the mirror tomorrow? That's a tough pill to swallow.
For those with big egos.
Well, you got to have a big ego to be a top wrestler. Look at this capacity crowd. Wow. Tremendous arena here. Great to be a part of it.
It really is, Jess. It is a tremendous crowd, and they have been fired up.
Yeah, look at Kamala getting all agile.
So far.
Let's check on this war paint.
I'll tell you the guy who's
Dre says it wears off during the competition.
because he's going to have a real hard time maintaining some type of control with these individuals in the ring.
So, confidence runs high. Laid it in.
I look at it this way, man.
Dish out punishment. He
There ain't no way we can be the only living life forms in the universe.
on the basics of wrestling.
Executed well.
There's got to be better and smarter than us out there.
Always right, Shabani. Don't ever doubt me.
And there's been too many things that people have seen over the years, some documented, some not documented, but
I'm not going to argue with you. Look here.
You know, it seems the referees is laying back and just letting them go at it.
Well, that's what
I
he's doing. He's
have
doing
no
that.
problem believing
You know, and there's times that maybe a referee should do
that there's extraterrestrial life out there and that it's been here or that it might even be here.
Just be a little bit lenient. Let the match go on. When you got two tough guys like this.
Ah, yeah, spell check is going to be the death of everybody.
That's exactly what we have. Two tough guys. Right.
And the vicious roll. Look at this.
And Jess, you knew it would be like
Oh, Kamala dropping that weight.
These two guys, I can't imagine either one of them saying, well, I've had enough.
Well, neither can I. So it's going to take a lot of punishment to come out with a win in this match. And right now, you got to give him some credit. He is prepared. And to be able to take an early advantage on this man is
Well, if you want to know if zombies are real, take a look at the streets of San Francisco.
Wrestling right here. Some classic moves.
we've seen some great moves to right yet so far.
There was a doctor that talked about the plausibility of zombies for real, and he had a method that explained how that could happen. And it was basically a combination of rabies and a flu-type virus combined. And at the rabies, if you know anything about that, it attacks the brain, it changes the behavior. tends to make animals, and if somebody got rabies from an animal and didn't get it treated, it would have the same logical effect on human beings, that they become extraordinarily angry, vicious, attack mode type logic. And then you take that and combine it with a flu-like virus where if they bite you, now the saliva's got that in there, now it becomes transmittable. Now, would they actually go and eat human flesh down to the bone? Probably not, but let's not rule out a possibility.
Well, you know, like they say, Tony, in the NFL, any team can beat any other team on a given Sunday.
Right.
The same holds true in the wrestling ring.
Seems like they're leading towards Cena and The Rock teaming up.
Some moves and counter moves in that last exchange, Tony.
Not sure how smart an idea that is. Both of these guys are getting to the fragile state.
From the opening bell. Both men, you got to give them credit, Jesse. Both men are giving it their all here. Let's not discount the abilities. He's as tough as they come, Jeff.
Absolutely, especially in a match of this caliber where it's more fighting than wrestling. You look at him, vicious looking. Remarkable, isn't it?
Not only that, he's a
Kensington Avenue in Philly. Yeah, Philly's got some pretty rough stuff going on there too, and it's frightening to see what these drugs are doing to people.
showing us he is much more than that. He has become a complete wrestler,
He better be a complete wrestler.
and I would agree. And
Nah, Lou definitely exists, man. We had lunch yesterday.
he may learn something here.
And no matter what happens in this wrestling, it always comes back to basics, Tony. Whoever
He
can
can't
basics
see
the
you.
basics the best, 9 times out of 10 wins it.
Kamala choking him out. Oh, he's got the claw hold on the stomach.
Exactly. You're right.
Giving a good account of himself.
Let me see his paint. Let me see the paint.
Is making a great showing.
I'll tell you what I'm going to do, Tony.
Ron Bass fighting his way back up. I don't see any paint wearing off.
When this match is over, I will get an interview with the winner.
All right, Jeff. Do we have time? Let me ask the people that do we have time to let Jesse do anything he wants to do on this show, Jeff? I guess we do.
Takes a quick look out to the crowd. Now, why don't they applaud?
Nacho, you were there. You were the one that picked up the check.
Wrestling moves right there.
You ever thought maybe the wrestling fan today has been conditioned?
You may have that Joe Biden disease where you just can't remember shit.
And it is great wrestling, Jesse. You're right. They should applaud it because of the great moves. This has been a classic wrestling match so far, Jess.
I've yet to see him break a rule yet.
Just hang on here. Things don't start going his way.
All right.
And by the way, if Nacho's ever paying your check at the on the dinner table there, you make sure you leave a tip because he's cheap, man. He don't tip.
Well, who really knows? You know, both are going to feel each other out a little bit. And like I said, it's going to depend on whether it's wrestling or whether it's brawling.
The fans now clapping.
Oh, 2 count. Thought he was going to put him away.
Wrestlers that gets inspired by the fans. He's a guy that definitely
Bass showing signs of wear and tear right now. I wonder if the damage carries over like in the 2K games.
Now measuring.
shouldn't be making that kind of mistake listening to what the crowd's saying.
Could have been a mistake.
Oh, time limit draw. Let's see. Can we have a bye? Since there are buys in this thing anyway. I only buy nachos for the table. How the hell do I get out of this without closing out the match? Oh, there it goes. Ah, there we go. Kamala gets the win to advance. Just got to figure out the sticks. Honky Dog Man against Jake the Snake Roberts. Renewing the old rivalry. Kurt Angle documentary, really? I'm really not a Kurt Angle fan at all. And it was really mostly based around all the events that took place with him in TNA. The number of times he got arrested for DUI and never really paid a penalty for it. Because each of those times you're putting other people's lives at risk, and to get away with it when you know you did it through technicalities, I just had no respect for him.
Not even Mickey Mouse and Goofy could get in here. And you know what? I caught them both trying to sneak.
Yeah, I think the Kurt Angle thing was like the Cody Rhodes. It's on the Peacock, I believe.
Tremendous crowd on hand. The stage is set. The combatants are ready. And you better believe
No, it's not about his in-ring talent, Lou. I was a Kurt Angle fan back in the Attitude Era. Like I said, once he hit TNA and then started getting all these DUIs, he had like 3 of them, I think, in a pretty short period of time, and managed to not get punished for any of them.
Okay, Jesse, the body Ventura, but I would think just right now the butterflies are starting to mount.
Absolutely. Every man has to have tremendous amount of confidence.
I can't say that about every single wrestler.
Only one winner. Confidence isn't going to win it for you.
They don't all go out and have multiple DUIs. You got Tammy Sitch.
I said hold it now.
Finally got to the point where she did kill somebody, but I was over her long before that.
You know, I think
Based on the same thing, though, her behavior.
fans all around the world, regardless if you are from Australia or Great Britain or USA, certainly the tactical
No, was I there? No. The police were there that arrested him, and each time he had a technicality that he got off on,
Simply because the man wrestled.
which I still don't get. If one of us gets arrested for, blowing the number C blue, we're not going anywhere.
Wherever you are, he's looking our way. I don't think he likes the way you're dressed. I don't think he likes
Same thing with Jeff Hardy. He's another guy I got no time for him at all.
I could take his heartbeat, Tony.
And all this bullshit people say about, oh, everyone makes mistakes, you got to give them a second chance, and then, you know what? Eventually, they all going to end up like Tammy Sitch if you let them get off on the road again. And it's not like she was allowed on the road, she just did it anyway.
What a crowd here, though. I can't believe it. Filled the capacity. I told you before.
Nothing makes me happier than know she'll spend the rest of her life in jail.
Made sure they couldn't. They didn't have tickets. Did you have a ticket, Shivani?
No, I don't. What are you insinuating?
Well, then what are you doing here?
Well, I just wanted to sit beside of you. It was okay. Listen to the fans.
Lou, when did Angle go to prison? He was in TNA that entire time. He got arrested, and he might have spent a weekend or something like that, but he didn't serve years.
Well, they're in such great condition, Jess, that it's going to have to take a long time.
And even besides the condition, Tony, it's the egos involved. I mean, how will each man be able to look himself in the mirror tomorrow? That's a tough pill to swallow.
For those with big egos.
Well, you got to have a big ego to be a top wrestler. Look at this capacity crowd. Wow. Tremendous arena here. Great to be a part of it.
The hell move was that?
Yes, it is a tremendous crowd, and they have been fired up for this match, and they've seen a dandy so far.
Abdominal stretch when that actually meant something.
Because he's going to have a real hard time maintaining some type of control with these individuals in the ring.
Yellich runs high, laid it in.
Here's a guy that not only likes to dish out punishment, he can take it to him like it. And he's giving a lesson right now in the basics of wrestling.
Executed well, you're right. And now,
I'm always right, Shamani. Don't ever doubt me.
Jake Roberts reversing the suplex.
most of the time.
Always.
I don't know. Have we even seen a finisher used in this thus far?
Seems the referee's is laying back and just letting them go at it.
Well, that's what he's doing. He's too mad.
That's true. Dominic did serve more time.
Should do that, Tony.
Well, you'd like that, wouldn't you?
No, I'm just saying, let them settle their differences. Be a little bit lenient. Let the match go on. When you got two tough guys like this.
And that's why he's ex-con Dom.
That's exactly what we have. Two tough guys. Right.
And the vicious, oh, look at this.
It just, you knew it would be like this.
Absolutely. Now with these two guys.
I mean, that was the best thing that happened to Dom because it toughened him up. He was kind of soft there when he came in, but
So it's going to take a lot of punishment to
spending some time on the block was good for him.
You got to give him some credit. He is prepared. And to be able to take an early advantage on this man is really saying something.
Well, we're seeing some great wrestling right here. Some classic moves.
We've seen some great moves. You're right, got so far.
But I can't see it stand.
DDT, put him away.
And that may be a mistake.
What would you know, Shamani? How often did you wrestle? 3.
And there you go.
None.
The native of Stone Mountain, Georgia, dropping the honky-tonk man right on his head. And I still say this game's DDT is better than the current day. Look at this. Boom. Pancakes him out the way it's supposed to be. Just under 6 minutes on that one. Undertaker and Kabbalah. Wasn't that a WrestleMania showdown at one point? The winner of that match is going to face Jake the Snake Roberts for the King of the Ring. Let's see how The Undertaker does in this one. SummerSlam could have been. Well, that was, we're in a SummerSlam ring now. That works.
Hi everyone, I'm Tony Schiavone. Joined in the broadcast location by
Kamala wasn't one of the
First of all, I'm going to tell you.
WrestleMania victims. I thought he was on the list.
Because I wrestled, you're the man responsible for Bobby Heenan getting run off the air. So you stay in line with me.
Don't you worry about that, Jesse Ventura. Oh yeah.
And I'll tell you, this capacity crowd is going crazy for these guys.
Many are standing and cheering.
Not even Mickey Mouse and Goofy could get in here. And you know what? I caught them both trying to sneak in the back door. Huh? They ain't never going to try that again.
Tremendous crowd on hand. The stage is set. The combatants are ready. And you better
Lou's greater than aliens, but we're not entirely sure Lou's not one of them.
This ought to be some great wrestling with these two because mechanically there may not be two more sound.
Lou might have blue blood.
Certainly they got a plan, but the question is, will the plan work? You can have all the
They never fought at Mania.
Shabani.
I would have sworn Kamala's name was on the list.
Okay, Jesse, the Body Ventura, but I would think just right now the butterflies are starting to mount.
Absolutely, every man tremendous amount of confidence, but as I said before, there'll be only one winner. Confidence isn't.
You know who's missing from this game?
Hold it.
Giant Gonzalez.
Oh, listen to the boos.
Hey, I said hold it down.
They don't like him, Jess.
Yeah, I mean, I remember Bundy. I remember Snuka, Flair.
Regardless if you are from Australia or Great
Of course, later in the run, the back-to-backs with Triple H and the back-to-backs with Shawn Michaels,
Get your blood boiling.
And why is that?
Jake Roberts.
Because he thinks so little of everyone, Jess.
Simply because the man can wrestle, Tony.
Well, you can wrestle and you can still.
Yeah, the casket match was Yokozuna, though.
Commoners with respect.
Who's also missing in this game.
Good to have you with us.
But he's adding more as we speak, so
He's looking our way. I don't think he
the
likes
Paul
the way you're
Orndorff
dressed. I don't think he likes
is
the
available now if you're on the Patreon.
Matchup. I continue to
I am on the Patreon. I have the file. I just haven't figured out how to get it to work. Jay Wiley's kind of
When he makes his way over
working
here,
on that
he's
right
standing
now,
up.
and hopefully he'll figure it out. I followed all the instructions, didn't seem to do anything.
Yeah, I agree with that.
What a crowd here, though. I can't believe it. Filled the capacity. I told you before, not even Mickey and Goofy could get in, and I made sure they couldn't. They didn't have tickets. Did you have a ticket, Shimon?
Andromeda, I was there for summer 2005, I believe.
Sit beside of you, it was okay.
Don't drink the water.
Listen to the fans.
Tombstone.
And cheering. They're really prepared. Yeah.
Well, I got a feeling this match could go a long, long time.
They're in such great condition, Jess, that it's going to have to take a long time.
And even
Taking a page out of the book of Foley.
I mean, how will each man be able to look himself in the mirror tomorrow? That's a tough pill to swallow.
For those with big egos.
Well, you got to have a big ego to be a top wrestler. Look at this capacity crowd. Wow. Tremendous arena here. Great to be a part of it.
It really is, Jess. It is a tremendous
Irish whips him to the ropes. Back out front. Back body drop. Down you go. 2 count while he teabags him.
The guy who's going to have the problem here is going to be the referee. Because he's going to have a real hard time maintaining
Scott W., welcome aboard.
these individuals as the race.
Hunt down. Never heard of it.
One high, laid it in.
Here's a guy that not only likes to dish
Is that an N64 game?
like it. And he's giving a lesson right now in the basics of wrestling.
Scoop slam. I picked up Mission Impossible for the N64.
Right, Shabani, don't ever doubt me.
Gonna have to mess with that in the near future.
Always.
Well,
Say it always.
I'm not going to argue it. Look here.
You know, it seems the referee's is laying back and just letting them go at it.
Well, that's what he's doing. These two men.
And another tombstone. This has got to be it.
You know, there's times that maybe a referee should do that, Tony.
Well, you'd like that, wouldn't you?
No, I'm just saying. Let them settle their differences.
And the Undertaker continues on to the finals to take on Jake the Snake Roberts in a WrestleMania rematch. We take a look at the instant replay. As Kamala dropped right on top of his head, shades of John Moxley right there. Judd is back. John Wesley Thomas is in the house. And we are on to the finals. Jake Roberts against The Undertaker for the King of the Ring. I mean, I look at it this way. I don't know why these guys would be making up this story. I mean, I'm pretty sure I did not hear this story from Kevin Nash. But if Kevin Nash is also telling the story, that means there are multiple people out there that actually know a little something more than we do. And I can't believe they would fabricate that story. It's not like Rick Rude was a hated man in the locker room. He's not like CM Punk.
Hi everyone, I'm Tony Schiavone, joined in the broadcast location by Jesse the Body Ventura.
Well, first of all,
And if we presume that that whole story about the Viagra shot to the dick is true, and that the side effects were accurate, and that they had to perform that surgery, yeah, I mean, I can definitely see somebody, especially like Rick Rude, who was, you know, all about his body and his physique and the women and all that. Not saying it's justifiable or that he should have gone that route, but again, I didn't even know he offed himself, so.
Tremendous crowd on hand. The stage is set. The combatants are ready. And you better believe they're prepared for this.
well, we should see some spectacular moves in this bout.
This is the finals of the King of the Ring tournament. One of these two men will be crowned the king.
Certainly they got a plan, but the question is, will the plan work? You can have all the plans in the world, Shabani.
Okay, Jesse the Body Ventura, what I would think just right now, the butterflies are starting to mount.
Absolutely, every man has to have tremendous.
JR, you're probably right, but honestly, what a way to go.
Only one winner. Confidence isn't going to win it for you.
Anything can happen here.
Hold it now.
Oh, all right.
Especially if we're talking about AJ 10 years ago.
Oh, listen to the boos.
Hey, I said hold it now.
They don't like
She still ain't bad, don't get me wrong, but a decade ago, she was like unbelievable.
fans all around the world.
Tiny little package, but man, she was put together.
Or Great Britain or USA. Certainly the tactic will have to really get your blood boiling.
And why is that?
Because he is arrogant, because he thinks so little of everyone, Jesse.
Simply because the man can wrestle, Tony.
Well, you can wrestle and you can still
Treat the commoners with respect.
yes.
Well, at the end of the day, we're all going to hear the different stories that we hear, and we're going to believe whatever we want to believe out of them. So, to each his own,
Likes the way you're dressed.
live and let live. And again, I'd never heard any of that stuff until yesterday.
I could take his heart.
I just,
you know,
for
Tony.
whatever reason, presumed he'd overdosed.
When he makes his way over here, you stand in front of him.
Hopefully he won't get over here.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah, I don't see it being a fabricated story by multiple wrestlers when Rude was not spoken badly of in the locker room. It's not a guy who had a hard time getting along with folks.
They didn't have tickets. Do you have a ticket, Shivani?
No, I don't. What are you insinuating?
Well, then what are you doing here?
Well, I just wanted to sit beside of you. It was okay. Listen to the fans.
Man, Jake Roberts going to town on The Undertaker.
Well,
Yeah, really prepared. Yeah.
I got a feeling this match could go on long.
Now I'm wondering, was it not Kurt Hennig that I saw?
It's going to have to take a long
I might have seen a Kurt Hennig. That might have been what it was.
Shows involved. I mean, how will each man be able to look himself in the mirror tomorrow? That's a tough pill to swallow.
for those with big egos.
Well, you gotta have a big ego to be a top wrestler. Look at this capacity crowd. Wow. Tremendous arena here. Great to be.
Roberts with a small package. Ooh, almost pulled it out.
They have been fired up for this match, and they've seen a dandy so far.
I'll tell you the guy who's gonna have the problem here is gonna be the referee. Because he's gonna have a real hard time maintaining
Yeah, Notch, that's the other thing that's weird is
this individual.
it's this many years later. DDT on The Undertaker.
Laid it in.
This many years later and just starting to hear this story. Holy cow, Jake Roberts pulls it off as he administers last rites to The Undertaker. Well, that DDT did its damage here in the King of the Ring tournament. The Undertaker made it all the way to the finals before finally running out of options. Yeah, I would have liked to have seen Hennig do a title run. I think there was a period of time I remember hearing that was a plan, and as happens often in wrestling, something kind of changed at the last moment, and then all of a sudden it didn't happen. But it would have been nice. Definitely deserved. All right, well, there is our winner. Let's see what happens here. Get our little celebration in. And he's got the bag.
Congratulations.
That's freaking hilarious. I was there, man. And a lot of people thought he was going to win the Rumble that year. My buddy I went there with, he was betting on it. He said it's going to be a perfect Rumble. I'm like, I don't think so, but yeah, Bret Hart. Stevie Richards just did a video, I think came out today, with Bret Hart and his pendulum backbreaker. And he's used Bret Hart as the measuring stick for a lot of moves already in his videos, including the Superplex. All right, well, that's that. The King of the Ring is Jake the Snake Roberts. Tomorrow night, we have a premiere at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You may have seen me do UPW, but you ain't seen it like this. Make sure you're here to be part of the live chat. It will be a memorable night, I promise you. History will be made on the Nation Network. And then on Tuesday, I will hopefully have more information tomorrow in the live chat about Tuesday. But right now, I've got some guests lining up for Wrestle Chat on Tuesday that you will definitely not want to miss. If you're not there live, you can't ask any questions. In the meantime, everybody, I hope you have a wonderful rest of your night, and I'll see you right here ringside on the Nation Network.